Thank you, Mr. Speaker. First, let me thank the distinguished gentleman, my good friend from the Commonwealth of Kentucky, whose leadership with respect to addressing the scourge of gun violence that has unfortunately taken hold in so many parts of our country has been unparalleled since he first stepped into this august chamber last year. We're grateful for his service, we're grateful for his leadership, and we're grateful for him initiating this important conversation tonight. I must say that there are many constituents of mine who are frustrated, who are outraged, who are anguished at the inaction of this body to address an issue as fundamental as this one. What could be more important, Mr. Speaker, than the safety of our families, of our friends, of our neighbors, of our colleagues, of our children, of our fellow citizens? This Congress has a job to do, and that job must include addressing gun violence and enacting common sense reforms that we know will save lives. I have the distinct privilege, Mr. Speaker, of representing the great state of Colorado, and we have been no stranger to the anguish of gun violence. Next week will mark the 25th anniversary of the tragic and devastating massacre at Columbine High School. 13 Coloradans murdered, cold blood, 12 students and 1 teacher, 25 years ago next week. 3 years ago, my community was devastated by yet another mass shooting at our local grocery store. 10 community members, Mr. Speaker, gunned down, including 1 police officer who bravely died in the line of duty, saving lives, making the ultimate sacrifice. Mr. Speaker, we have lost far too many. There are far too many mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, children, Americans dying from gun violence. We have the power to stop it if we follow the articulate admonition of my friend and colleague, Mr. McGarvey, by passing common sense solutions here in this chamber. And for those who doubt our ability to do so, Mr. Speaker, I will point you to fairly recent history. There were many who doubted the ability of the United States Congress and the President to enact laws, common sense laws, that ultimately would and could save lives. They were wrong. Because of President Biden's leadership, we passed a bill in the last Congress, the 117th Congress, the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act. That law is saving lives today. Earlier today, the White House, thanks to the leadership of President Biden, Vice President Harris, the leadership of our Attorney General Garland, announced yet another reform, a new rule pursuant to the Bipartisan Safer Communities Act that will finally close the gun show loophole. An important step forward, Mr. Speaker, and one that I applaud. And I sincerely hope, that it can be a building block for us to take on. Now, I have to confess, I looked at the notice from the Rules Committee on which I serve, with great dismay just a few short hours ago. What did that notice portend for next week? What have House Republicans decided? we will spend our time on next week? Not gun violence prevention. The Refrigerator Freedom Act. I kid you not. That is literally on the agenda next week. Refrigerator Freedom Act. How about a bill to address gun violence? Is that too much to ask? My constituents don't think so. And I don't think the people of Kentucky think so either. I thank the gentleman from Kentucky again for his leadership, for initiating this important conversation. It is the beginning and not the end. I yield back to the gentleman.